Hi, this is Bob Brown. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my Prospectus walkthrough. It's a draft. There'll be problems. Anyone's welcome to give constructive feedback, comments, ideas are welcome. I'm trying to make this more public so other people I'm trying to encourage other people to think about going into higher education, pursue your educational dreams. So this is a doctoral level prospectus, and this is going before the board, and they'll decide if the committee if they'll accept it. I have to rewrite this, so this is going to need a rewrite. Prospectus is entitled Virtual Employees, a Business Acceptance Study, Building Virtual Employees, Capturing Organizational Intelligence to Increase Business Competitiveness. Right off the bat, you can see that title, I don't have the title right. I'm trying to, I got too many ideas right there, and I gotta water that down, break it down. Basically, I'm looking at trying to figure out how companies can start utilizing the cloud system like IBM Watson, Apple Siri, Microsoft Cortana. These systems are getting more and more advanced, specifically like IBM Watson's system. How come companies, small companies, what I call nano startups, which are just like little teeny idea companies or little projects that you as an individual create. Maybe it's a small, you have a very small, almost toy-like manufacturing where you're making tea cozies. Just call them tea cozies. And you make one a week or one a month, and you sell them on eBay and you make $5. That's what I would call a nano business. It's just something I do because I like to do it. It's fun. I like people to enjoy what I make, and I get a little bit of money in return. Probably maybe not even enough to cover the cost, but hopefully eventually. So one idea is, a person can create more and more of these nano businesses, and they're more experimental, and that may eventually become a micro business. Maybe you get an incubator concept even in your garage or a corner of your room, and you grow it. You start growing your eBay business, you start growing your Amazon store business, you keep growing, and eventually it may become a small business. And if everything goes well, you can start hiring employees, and this is all about localization of maximizing your business potential. Now, in order to do that, there's a lot of things you need to help staff and man your business. And as a nano business, as a micro business, as a small business, you just don't have the resources. Well, now we have something we never had before in history. We have what I call virtual employees. Virtual employees can be chatbots. They can be artificial intelligence systems or expert systems that people can walk through to help, it's like a product configurator. It can configure your product, walk you through. So you can see right there, I'm trying to say, I might want to strike this and say building virtual employees, capture organizational intelligence, increase business competitiveness. The other side of this is that as baby boomers move out of the marketplace, as they retire, a lot of knowledge is lost. In most businesses, we don't look at what I call human, we look at human capital, but we don't look at the knowledge that a person has in their mind as a capital that people need to capture. The knowledge capital that people have, the experience, the emotional intelligence, the instinct, the intuition that people have, or how to tell if this is a good deal or not a good deal, how to tell if a customer is telling you the truth or not, how you can tell if your vendor is playing fair with you or not. These are human factors that people have in trying to capture that information. Too often people are just outsourced, and their knowledge just goes with them, and people don't ever, it's basically, it's a very quantitative, and it's very narrow. I don't even know if it's quantitative. I think it's almost numerically, if I cut 20 heads, I'll save this much money, so they cut 20 people. And you can see case study after case study how these businesses get in trouble because people, primarily, I think ill-trained finance people, very ill-trained finance people, decide just off-the-cuff decisions. And a lot of it also there's a lot of biases thrown in. They don't like people. They want to get rid of people. They perceive people as a potential threat to their job, and they get rid of them. So with all this swirling around businesses, there's a lot of pressure on the remaining employees, or if you're a small startup, you don't have any employees. So I'm looking at it from two sides. One, from a startup, you start creating virtual employees, like with IBM. You can use the IBM Watson. You can use IBM SPSS that we've used. And the idea is to start having people think of these virtual employees as real employees, because they're actually doing real work. The computer is actually producing invoices. It's automatically emailing these invoices. So everywhere you go, you have to start thinking, how do I get this computer to work for me versus me working for the computer? And on the other side, I want to start capturing data and utilizing that data. And if people can start putting their experiences, and YouTube is kind of like this, that people put their experience out there. If you put your experience out there, you can start data mining that for ideas for your business. And so I'll just do this one section here. The 21st century is a time of great transition for nations, organizations, businesses, and individuals. The baby boomer generation is retiring at a record rate, at record numbers. Along with the boomers' exit from the workforce, there's a massive loss of cognitive capital and experience. So here I'm introducing my concept of cognitive capital. Cognitive capital is what a person has in their mind. And we tend to look at the individual, and I'm showing there's a differentiation, that a person comes to you with cognitive capital. They're able to do a job, and they have a unique perspective on how to do it. Once that person's gone, that unique perspective goes with them. And with artificial intelligence systems now, we can have people that help create a virtual self. I see in the near future where people will be creating avatars of themselves, doppelgangers. These software doppelgangers, these avatars. These software doppelgangers are basically, they do a portion of your work. It may be a very small portion, but they're out there doing a portion of your work. They're out there, maybe they're just printing the invoices. That's a program you wrote, or a program you developed, or a program you purchased, and you've set that up so that every day it's going to print your invoices, or every day it's going to check your stocks, or every day it's going to check the weather forecast if you're a farmer or a gardener. So these are the ideas, and we all intuitively kind of know this is going on, but I'm trying to concretize it and show people you really need to start organizing these systems almost like employees, because they're actually doing a lot of valuable work for yourself. And also the concept of create your own virtual you, a virtual self that can actually go out and do work for you. And these systems will only get more and more intelligent as you go along. So let me go to the problem statement, and this will be my final section. Businesses are facing the loss of key employees through retirement and the expensive cost of developing new employees, while simultaneously losing massive capital, cognitive capital from retiring key employees, all of which is becoming financially burdensome. Beginning in 2011, the U.S. Census Department estimates over 10,000 members of the baby boomer cohort will reach retirement age each day between 2011 and 2018. Businesses that cannot achieve effective knowledge transfer from these exiting employees will be at competitive disadvantages to those businesses that can master new technologies to capture and amplify human cognitive capital, utilizing advances in computer technology. Creating a new form of employee, a virtual computer employee. So I see that this is becoming a real issue now, that you as a business have to see, I've got to get my computers to work for me. I have to have them doing the job. I have to have them doing things that people normally want to do. It basically, especially for like a nano business, which is just one person starting out and they have a little project they're trying to see if they get it off the ground, to a micro business, especially a small business, you just can't afford that. So a classic example of a virtual computer employee would be, or a VCE. The VCE would be your receptionist. We've had that for years. We've had audits and voicemail and auto attendants, which everyone hates. But even online, people have chatbots that are really just usually very poor, artificial intelligence systems. But those are getting better all the time now. And you have to admit that unless you're going to be up 24/7 trying to answer questions online, and you're the only person, or you only have a few people, you're going to need something. So there's a complete market, I think, for businesses to create virtual computer employees, or VCEs. These virtual computer employees, or virtual VSEs, virtual software employees. These are basically a market that, as a business person, you can create and craft something. And then one of the experiments I'm trying with IBM is, when it gets to a certain point, it's going to say, hey, I can't answer these questions anymore. I've exhausted it. And now the VSE or VCE program would say to the customer talking to him, said, just a second, I'm at the limit of my knowledge. I'm going to text my boss, the human being, and I'm going to say, hey, I've got a customer here who needs your help. And then you could step in and start chatting with the employee, or you could say, hey, send me a text message or email me, and I'll help answer it right now. So these are the baby steps. I'm trying to get businesses to understand that the virtual computer employee, the virtual employee, the chatbot, the AI system is here. The beginning of the revolution really is starting now, and you got to be on top of it to win. So anyway, this is just a brief overview. I hope if you have any questions, please let me know. And this has been for the Walden University Doctoral Study for Doctor of Business Administration with IT concentration. This is Bob Brown, and thank you very much for watching.